I'm Brad Shorkend. I'm the CEO of Still Human. At Still Human, we specialize in helping organizations be awesome places for human beings to wake up, to come to every single day. These days, to come to doesn't necessarily mean at a building. It means to work at. I am experiencing a real state of confusion, is probably the word I would use to where are people at? I think when we talk about people, we've got to contextualize as well. You've got people who are coming to work. Everybody who works in an organization is an employee. Then you've got leaders who have their own set of complexities. They're still employees as well. And then we've got specialists, because obviously I work all day long with HR practitioners, learning practitioners, organizational designers, and each of them has got their own confusion, complexity, agenda, pain. Just yesterday, I received an email from somebody who said to me, help. Now, I maintain confidentiality, so I'm not mentioning organizational name, I'm not mentioning designation, but the help was a cry for help because she said, I've just received this email. It says that we're moving to a certain type of leave structure, which is defined as flexible, but it's anything but flexible. I've lost now all of my accumulated leave. It's gone. I'm not being paid out for it. Policy change, what was before is gone. That's the first injustice in the eyes of the employee. So where's fair play? There's a feeling around a lack of fair play, people not being considered. And then she said, it goes on to say that I have flexible leave, but I need to not abuse it or it'll impact my pay. And she said, I've been banking leave. I've got a month, which I can't use anymore. I've been told I can use this flexible, but if I don't use it properly, it impacts my pay. Does that sound flexible? And that's just one type of problem that I'm seeing people come with. And that they're approaching me with and saying, how do we do this? Please, can you talk to my leaders? Is one of the things that I'm getting asked for the most these days. Please, can you talk to my leaders? Now, unfortunately, I can teach leaders. I can help them think differently, but I can't talk to them. I'm not a messaging service for the voice of the disgruntled employee. But I am on their side, bearing in mind that leaders are employees as well. I'm on the side of everybody who's trying to sort through this mess, and it's a mess. Without a shadow of a doubt, we're still stuck in old thinking. And when I say old thinking, I don't mean the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s like we used to just a couple of years ago. Say, we're still thinking like we're in the 90s. We're now stuck in the thinking of the 19s, 2019, because the world has fundamentally changed, and that's becoming a very cliched thing. I'm not even in my work anymore looking at how has the world changed or trying to get people to acknowledge it's changed. We know it's changed. The question that we've got to be asking ourselves now is, where are people at? Where are people at? And what's really going on for them? And how do we understand each other? How do we apply a deeper empathy to be able to solution for where people are at? Because otherwise what's going to happen is the pressure is going to build up. And this is what I'm starting to see in organizations, is the pressure is building, and where it's going to be felt is at the resignations office. Good talent is going to places that are saying, we want you to be here. We're prepared to design the conditions for you to be here. Also, it doesn't have to be here in terms of location. We can be here based in South Africa, working for companies anywhere else in the world because of the way the world now does work. I mean, here we are, I'm standing here in a conference facility, in a venue at the Tryst, where we all love to get up on stage and engage and connect and spend time together. But that is not the only way that things are happening. Yeah, it's great to get back in person. It's great to come back to the office, but not because I was forced. That's becoming a different narrative. We've got to find out, how do we make it worthwhile? Different conversation. How do we make the drive worthwhile? It's not as simple as just go back to the old rules, as go back to enforcing. And like I said, it's going to be felt at the resignations office. It already is. It's already being felt in terms of the type and the nature. I'm seeing patterns and trends. A certain type of person is very appealing in the market globally. And unfortunately for a lot of my clients, they can't replace those people. It's not easy because they're not making it appealing for new people to want to come in. So you're getting holes in organizations. And what I'm seeing also more and more frequently is that there's a putting the head in the sand. in almost a state of denial as to what's really going on and people's levels of dissatisfaction. And it sounds like I'm making big, bold statements. I'm working inside these organizations. They're my clients. But it's really interesting because I'm getting two different types of requests. The request I'm getting from leaders is how do we get our people back and how do we get our people in line? That's the request from leaders. And the request I'm getting from people is how can you help my leaders understand that this is not working? Now those are two very contrasting states of mind, two contrasting energies. And it's really important for both to understand where the other is at. I think as employees, what becomes really important is to put yourself in the shoes of the people who are trying to work this out. Everybody's got to contribute. I saw a brilliant thing the other day. One of my clients, somebody came into his office. He's the CEO of a big business. And somebody came into his office and was complaining. It was one of those rant sessions. And he got up out of his chair and he very politely went over to the person who'd come into his office and he said, "Take a seat. You're now the CEO. What would you do?" And it was a brilliant moment of leadership because he acknowledged the challenge and the provocation. The employee did something even more powerful. He said, "Come for a walk with me." He took the CEO downstairs into the factory and he said, "Now let me show you my challenge. What will you do?" And that was a brilliant moment of empathy, of connection, and getting into each other's worlds. But we need to be doing more of this. We need to be getting to the coalface. Now there's a lot of ways we can do it. And that's what we need to start to understand and unpack and get skilled at.